Hey guys, this guy here from Y.C.G, your casual gamer. Time to add a new trap called Pillar Stump. So basically it's a trap that squishes the player. I'm going to show you how to use this and a different variation to create obstacles to stop your player from reaching the end of their level. Be mindful, this is going to be a followers only episode. So you're going to need these episodes listed here before being able to attack this one. And at the end, this is the result of what it should be. Now when you jump inside the level and you reach inside here, you're going to see that there's a lot more going on that can stop you from reaching the end of your level. Mind you, I did this run a million times. I died anyways. And there you have it. Now 30 seconds seems like very fair for the player to reach the end. So let's get started. Alright, so for this trap you're going to have three objects. You're going to have the particle system that we're going to make together in this episode, and the door frame over here, and also the blueprint, which we're going to do mostly in the second part. We're going to start it up in this episode if we still have time. Now let's do the frame. So to talk a little bit about the frame, I took an image just to make it more simple for you guys. So I know it looks like there's a lot of detail around, but really all that it is I took the starter content, and you're going to see in 2 seconds how fast I did it, and it's super simple. And I just took a black plane, so just a square plane in the middle, just to make it look like it's the it's a pit, and it's just the trap is coming out of it. Let's go ahead and create this. So we have So what I did is inside the starter content, don't worry if you don't have the starter content, you can use just rectangles and square, this works too. But I went inside the props and I just grabbed the door frame that is given to us by Unreal. Turn it around like this, put it flat on the surface floor, 90 degree, and then go ahead and just Alt drag a new copy and turn it around to 180, and then just connect the two together. Make sure that they don't overlap too much, or else it's going to show on the mesh. And there you have it. So now all you need is a cube. Drag it inside here and turn. So this is what my videos are all about. It's just a way to get life more simple for new developers, because not everybody starts with like money coming out of the wazoo, and then you can't always hire a full team. So if you know how to save a little bit of bucks doing like small stuff like this, you can already get a first product out there, and then your second project is going to be the one with the budget. That's cool. Let's put it flat a little bit more. I want it to be more equal. Make sure that it really covers the whole surface. It does. And then all I did is I went inside our materials, season 2, and I grabbed my black metallic. Now if you don't have the black metallic, it's like I did in a previous episode. It's just a constant, two constant, one going on the roughness, one the metallic, and a black color. And there you have it. You got yourself a frame. Now to connect to make them whole, just select the three, control select the three mesh, go inside window, and you've already done that if you've been following my episode again, but let's do it together. Merge actor. And then you just have to go and put it inside your props. And for me it was in season 2, and I called it trap frame. So I don't need to save it again since I already have it, but that's pretty much the name, trap dash frame. So cancel this out for me. And I can even delete this since I already have it done. Now for the particle system. Again, I went inside the starter content. There's so much, like I know it doesn't seem like they give you much, but it's, if you understand the basics, there's so much you can do with just those little tiny animations they're giving you here. So we already have a spark over here. Let's go ahead and grab this and drag it inside our particle folder and copy it there. Now we're going to go ahead and go fix it the way we want it to be, and the end result should be something like that. So you have your spark and a little bit of smoke. Now let's go ahead and go inside the spark, So I'm not going to explain to you everything about the particle system and emitter. I already have an episode on that, so you can go and check this out if you don't know anything about particles. Spark. So if you want to isolate what you need, you can just click on the little X over here. So this is the spark burst. That's the one I need. So this one I don't need. I'm going to get rid of it. And the smoke, I think it's still nice. You know, when there's a spark normally in real life, there's a little bit of smoke that happens. Like there's a smell after, so there's a little smoke. But I don't need that much smoke. So go ahead and change this right away. So 20 for the spawn rate. No, just put it to 1. That's okay. Same for the spark. I don't want to get epileptic here. Just 1 is enough. Now you already know the second thing we're gonna need to change is the color. When two metal strikes together, it doesn't do blue sparks unless you're in an alternated reality, and I didn't know that. Let's go ahead, and I already have my own settings, so I put it to 20, 16 for the green, and 9 over here, and it makes this nice orangey color, and you can already see on screen that it looks pretty cool. As let's do the same thing for the color for the smoke. So 20, 16, and 9. And there you go. So if you're not too picky, this is already perfect for you. For me, I want it to be good on every angle. And right now, I think the size is only a proportion to how I'm facing it right now on the X and Y, on the X and Z, and I want it to be proportional to all size. So what I'm going to go is inside the initial size. Let's go ahead and tweak this a little bit. So let's stretch it on the y-axis by 20 to 10. Same thing for the Z. Not too big on the Z because you still want the spark to be flat. So that's for the smoke. Also in the smoke and the initial velocity, you see how it's dragging up? You don't want that. Let's go ahead and remove the spark while we're doing this. So now we're working only on the smoke. So the constant acceleration, that's what brings it up with the initial velocity. Let's put this to 10 and 0. And let's put this to 2. You could even delete this. Like we don't even need that right here. Now for the smoke, I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, well, the last thing is we want the animation to happen only once. So we're gonna go ahead and end the emitter loops, just put once. Because as soon as the pillar stumps, that's where the spark happens, not 20 times. Now for the spawn, since it's only happening once, you need a burst list. So let's go ahead and create one if you don't have one over here. I'm putting it to count 1, low 1, so that it always happens, and the time it's going to happen at 0, 0. And you're done with the smoke. Now just you can hide this one and go for the spark. So same thing for the spark, you want it to happen only once, so just go inside the emitter loops, put it to 1. And for the I don't know why it doesn't save when you do that. I think you have to save right away. So guys, I think it didn't even register over here. Oh no, it did. Okay. See right there? It didn't at first. I think you really have to save every time you do it. Now, it doesn't have a burst list yet, so let's add one. Put that to 1 and this to 1. And save. Lifetime, that's alright. Did it update? Did. Okay. Initial size. We're going to play with that a lot. Let's put it to 25, 25, 5. And this 10 is good. No, actually, let's put it to 20. 20. Now you see it's a bigger spark. Because if the spark is too small, the pillar is going to crush it. You're not even going to see the spark. And you're always going to have to play with the size of the particle system, which we'll probably have to do anyways, since we're going to be playing a lot with that. And the last thing I'm going to take out is the light. And the reason why is the light in the particle system in 14.3, that's the Unreal Engine version I'm using, is not very well refined. And you're going to see right away. Let's say if I leave the spawn, let's get rid of the emitter loops. Let's put it to 0, save, and let's do the same thing for, oh, forget the smoke. It's the spark that does it. And let's go ahead and drag this inside the scene. And you're going to see right away what it does. You see, every time the light pops out, all of my metallic, they go nuts. It's like this weird light that goes out. If you like that effect, by all means, keep it. But I really don't like the effect. I find it's just making no sense. So I'm going to remove the light for that reason. And if you want to add your own lighting, I suggest you just put a light inside your blueprint and play with the light over there. It's going to be more precise and it's going to look a lot better in your scene. And you're done with your particle system. Let's put this back to a 0, not to 1, and save. So now the what's left is to build our trap. And this is going to take a little bit more time. So I'm just going to start it up for you. Oh, you could do the thumbnail too if you want to. We didn't do that. Very simple. You can just put the spawn rate for the spark to like 20 and then click on the thumbnail when you see a spark and it's going to work. Put it back to 1, save, and that's it. And there you go. We have ourselves a spark. Now for the blueprint. So what I did is I grabbed, because you know you don't want to have a million blueprints for each trap you do, especially when you can combine two traps together. In our case, that's what it is, like, because this pillar could have spikes on them. You don't know, maybe later you want to do that. So let's put them all inside the same trap instead of having a million blueprints for every procedure you want for your traps. So let's go here. So you guessed it, the first thing we're going to need, since this is all the spike trap that we did, or trap by tick, damage tick. So now we're going to create a new procedure. So go ahead and create procedure, and let's make it a byte. Alright, and then let's drag this inside a level. So this over here could be procedure 0. So just put it up here, and then you just drag this out and equal it to byte. And if it's equal to 0, then it's going to play whenever you overlap the box for the damage. You're going to be able to, this is going to carry out. And it's never going to play anything else unless you change the procedure. Now if you want to get a little bit more creative, you could change the procedure at one point in the game. I don't know, let's say it's a spike trap that becomes a stump and that it can suddenly squish you and instant kill you. I don't know, that'd be nice. Something would happen. Now the second procedure we're going to create is an insta death. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, okay, first is the procedure. So you set your trap to the procedure. So you have to be able to customize your trap. And if it's equal to 1, it's going to check if you can instantly die. So you're going to need a new variable and call it can kill question mark. So it's like the trap is going to ask itself, can I kill the player? And you're going to boolean drag, you're going to branch it over here and like that. So if it's true, it's going to check if the player is actually overlapping. So that's pretty much what it's looking. It's looking to see if the player is overlapping. But the reason I put a can kill is because sometimes the player is overlapping. Let's say in our case, the pillar hits the floor. So while it's going down to hit the floor, this is where the player can die, but not the other way around when it's pulling up. So if you just make it so that whenever the player is overlapping the damage box, your player is going to die when you just passes underneath to try to squeeze into the space, because he's still overlapping the area of damage. So you want to make sure to create this variable. It's going to be the condition you need. So when the pillar is striking down, you're going to set this to true. That means you can die if you're underneath. And when the pillar is pulling back up, then it's going to be turned to false. That way, even if you're overlapping because you're trying to pass underneath, you're not going to get killed. So now when this overlaps and it works, we're going to do a do once. Yeah. And print string, you are dead. And that's it. And if you have been following my videos, you can get the character and get UI reference and just put the damage screen. That way it's going to do that little red flash and it's going to shake your screen to say that, hey, you're dead. Put a little comment over here, instant death procedure. And there you go. And now I think that's good for this episode. So the next part, we're going to create our loop. So it's going to look a little bit like this. I already have the trap on the other side as reference. So it's going to look a little bit like this. And if it looks familiar, and you're right, it's our little platform that we created together, but we just added little conditions and sound just to make it a trap instead of just a platform that you're climbing onto. So see you next time. Have a good day.